through my page. How do you want me to email you the link?
Send it to Dan's left.
Will you close those curtains? Before you send it out, you better check it. We're just waiting on my computer. It's just,
Now we can see it.
Yes.
Okay, see them better.
I have more spaces, so we're going to come up to forward. Oh, wait, come on up, Bill. See how forward you can get. Keep going. You at least get to see if you're in frame or not here.
Yeah.
If that link works, then it's good.
Room's not coming up. I have a black screen here. It took me to thing.
Sending you another. Sent.
Yeah, this is working. Yep.
Don't forget your spoon today.
Alright. Has been sent, and we have at least one person who's going to be checking.
Who, Connie?
Caroline.
Okay. Oh,
Who?
Caroline.
Caroline. Oh, good for her. You know that?
Yeah, because she just emailed saying, I don't have a link.
Oh.
So I was like, it's on the way! Woo! We have friends joining us. It's exciting. We can see who comes in.
You should show Lou where he can see.
See.
Down here?
Ah. Ta-da. Mhm. So this is where they can live chat down at the bottom. And up here is where
Oh, I see.
we see friends. So we're going to give another minute or two just because we were a little late getting the link. We had some technical difficulties. Imagine that. And then we'll get started. So just we'll wait maybe like 2 minutes just in case. And then we'll get started, right?
Good.
Just chat awkwardly.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. I have it ready, yeah. why don't we play a little music while
That'd be great.
we're waiting for friends to join in.
Take me to your heart again. Let's make a start.
Would you like to dance for a bit while we're waiting?
Maybe we should.
Let's dance for a minute.
Take me to your heart again and leave behind forever a life of let's turn back the years. Let's not come true the tears like sunshine under rain.
Yes, now
If you will take me to your heart again.
That was lovely. Thanks, Lou.
Let's turn.
we still have 2.
All right.
Hello.
It could be 3. Could be a couple, right?
Uh-huh.
Woo! I'm gonna back up so that they can see us. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the very first R&J live stream group class. Woo! We just want to thank all of you for joining us. We really appreciate you adapting with us in these crazy times and still trusting us with your dance education, even though you can't get out and about. Also, we just want to say we are definitely new to this. This is, we said it's our first one.
Mhm.
So we are going to be learning a bit as we go, which hopefully means we'll be getting better and better and better and better with each class. And that being said, we welcome any constructive criticism you may have as we go through this. Things like how, what we can do so you can see us better, what we might need to do so you can hear us better, that sort of thing. Let's make sure that's turned up a bit. Sorry about that. Yes. You'll notice that on your screen, you should have an option for live chat where you can type in comments. So feel free, give us your thoughts. Also, if you have any questions regarding any of the patterns we do in class or any of the exercises, please, please, please leave us a comment. I can't promise that we'll get to it during class because we're going to be up here dancing and whatnot. But we will most definitely be looking at those comments after class and addressing them in next week's class. Yeah. Good. Oh, one more thought. If by chance you are practicing at home alone, like you don't have a partner, make sure that when you're practicing the actual patterns that you put up your imaginary partner, make sure you use your frame. This will help you keep a reference as to where your partner will be so that when we are lucky enough to all be back together again, it won't be such a shock to be dancing with a person again, right? Okay, so I think we're going to get started. Lou, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good.
Let's do some foxtrot.
Good. Welcome, everyone. All right, so we're going to start off with, as we've been doing for the last couple of weeks here at the studio, with a basic warm-up, which will simulate the steps we do. I'll be facing you. Rachel will have her back to you, so you can be in a similar perspective to how you're looking at us. So we're just going to start with our feet in parallel, slightly apart. We're just going to do a basic warm-up, bending the knees and straightening, and bending and straightening. You want your pelvis in a neutral position. And just let your legs and your knees relax as you bend and you straighten and you bend and straighten and bend and straighten. One more time, bend and straighten. Now we're going to go side to side. We're going to step side together and side together, side together and side together. This sort of simulates the side step that you take in the basic foxtrot, but there is a very unique difference in that we want to use the standing foot and we want to activate the standing foot in order to push off of the floor and send the body and the leg out to the side. So instead of just stepping with your foot to the side and then bringing your feet together, we want to activate the standing foot or the foot of the standing leg. We want to raise that heel off the floor, and we want to push the feet into the floor as it pushes the leg out to the side, and then we bring the legs together, and we push and together, push and together, push and send together, push together, and send the body out. We want to keep the body level. We don't want to jump up and down. We want to just send the body out to the side by pushing the foot of the standing leg into the floor to send the body out to the side. And this will simulate more completely what that side step in the basic foxtrot will be when we do that step. Okay, now we're going to take the left leg for me and the right leg for Rachel, and we're going to send that leg forward, come up on the heel. We have a relaxed supporting leg. We're going to send that working leg back through the foot and then out back behind to a toe on the floor, and then bring that leg in, send the leg out to a heel and back through. And this just begins the movement of our legs as we begin to do our walking step. Rachel has moved to the side so you can see the action of her legs side to side or front to back. Okay, good. Let's turn around and let's do the same thing with the other leg. And forward, back, and forward, and back. Your standing leg should be relaxed. Forward, and back, and together. Good. All right. Now I think we're going to step back a little bit, and we're going to do some walking steps. Just walking steps forward. Here we go. And walk, and walk, and walk, and walk. Good. Now we're going to go to the back. We're going to reverse that and go back. And back. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Let's take it forward one more time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and together. Good. All righty. So now we're going to put all those steps together. We're going to combine them into our basic foxtrot basic step. In the foxtrot, you take 2 walking steps forward, and then you take a side and you close.
For the leaders.
For the leaders, yes. Followers will always go back. Leaders will go forward with the left foot, and followers will go back with the right foot. Let's just talk about closed position.
Okay.
Okay? Anything we want to cover before then?
I don't know. Do you want to do the steps first, or you want to do closed?
Let's close position
All right.
first.
Closed position first.
Okay, so in closed position, I'm going to extend my hand to my partner and invite her to come into closed position, just like we've talked about in class. My right hand will go at her shoulder blade on the inside. Her left arm will be at the crease between my bicep and my shoulder. My left hand is holding her right hand. Posture being very, very important in all of your dances, but especially in smooth and in our foxtrot that we're doing tonight. Posture is just one of the critical things you have to achieve, holding your posture, holding my frame and my posture, and my partner holding her frame and her posture. Shoulders are pressed, remembering that it's very important that we are not square to each other, as we would typically be in rhythm dances, but we are offsetting. So as we go to closed position, my partner is going to place herself to my right, to her left. So I'm over her. Good. So I'm over her right shoulder, and she's looking over my right shoulder. Okay, we'll turn around a little bit more so you can just see all of these views. Good. So that's your closed position.
Just a friendly reminder for those of you who may not have a partner to practice with at home, you can still practice everything Lou was just talking about. If you're the leader, you can still practice extending your hand and raising your frame up. Or if you're the follower, you can still practice reaching out that right hand and stepping up as though you had your partner there with you. Yeah?
Good. All right. So let's go ahead and take some basic foxtrot steps. One very important thing to remember is because we are offset to each other, when I take my left foot forward in my first step, I will be stepping outside of my partner, and I'm going to be stepping straight forward. When I take my second step as the lead, I'm going to be stepping inside of my partner, and that's very, very important so that this dance travels down the floor, and by being offset and taking these outside and inside steps, it allows us as partner and lead and follow to travel around the room. Okay? So here we go with our basic foxtrot. We're going to take 2 walking steps, walk, walk, and then side together. Again, and walk, walk, side together. One more time, walk, walk, side together. Let's go ahead and change positions and take it this way so everyone can see from the side view what this is going to look like. Just a little bit. Here we go. And walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together. Good. All right. So what we'd like you to do now is we're going to put on some music.
Should we practice the treble step first?
Oh, let's do that. Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay. So one thing we have to talk about is foxtrot, as I mentioned just a little bit ago, travels around the room in a counterclockwise direction. As you're traveling around the room, doing your basic foxtrot, there'll be a point to where you reach the end of the long end of the floor or the short end of the floor. Or there could be another couple on the dance floor that may require you to do or demonstrate what's called floor craft. Either of those situations may happen on the dance floor when you're dancing. What you want to do to get away from that trouble or to change your direction of travel is to do what is called a treble step. Very simply, instead of me taking 2 walking steps forward, I'm going to take my first walking step forward, and then I'm going to settle my right foot to my left foot. Walk and settle. Then I'm going to take my right foot as the lead back, and then settle my left foot to my right foot. Step back and settle. At this point, I'm going to take my side step with my left foot. I'm going to turn my body slightly. My partner will follow because she's in my frame, and this will allow us to begin to change direction. We can do another treble step to change our travel position even further to get to a new line of travel. So as you're in closed position, the direction that I'm facing is what we call line of travel or direction of travel. My partner's back is to our direction of travel. She is against line of travel. All right, so again, if I want to change my direction of travel to where I'm facing to a new line of travel, I'm going to do treble steps. Step, touch, side, together. And now I've moved us into a new line of travel, and now we can begin to do basic foxtrot steps until we reach the end of this line of travel, and then we can do another several, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 treble steps to achieve a new line of travel or a new direction of travel. All right? So again, let's practice that again. And let's move a little bit more to the corner. Here we go. And step, step, side together. Step, step, side together. So we've done 2 treble steps in order to achieve a new line of travel. So that's one way to either change your direction of travel or to get away from traffic, other dancers on the floor that may get into your space just by accident, and you can change your direction of travel very quickly and eliminate getting into trouble with other dancers on the floor. There are many other ways to do that, but this is a very basic way when you're beginning to learn foxtrot. Okay? So, do we want to dance a little bit?
Sure. So, some thoughts on actually putting the basic and the treble step together. Obviously, Lou and I have the benefit of having our delightful studio space to dance in. And when you have that kind of space, let's pretend I'm the leader for a minute, you can dance your basic along the walls and do a treble step, and then go to the next one until you get to the next corner. So you're kind of making a big rectangle with these 2 patterns. Now, we realize that you at home probably do not have quite as much space as we do. So obviously work with what you got. If you don't have a lot of width, what you can possibly do is just do your basic however many times that you can. Then do your treble step maybe 2 or 3 times if you need to get turned around and just go back the other way. Right now, we're just working on practicing getting the patterns into our heads, and we're going to put some music on, I think, in a moment, so you can get used to timing it with the music as well.
Why don't we show everyone just going back and forth a couple of times?
That sounds delightful.
So they can see what we're doing. Yeah. Walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together, treble step. We'll do another one. And now we're heading in a new direction or a new line of travel. And now we're going back the way we came. Good.
Desperate times, desperate measures, yes. All right.
So that just gives you an idea of where you have limited space, how you can still accomplish a nice foxtrot by using a basic and a treble step, just going back and forth on the short end of the floor.
Absolutely. And if you're practicing alone, again, just put up your imaginary partner, or if you're the follower, back it up. And when you get to the turn, if maybe you're feeling a little unsteady with it as the follower, don't overthink it right now. You can always turn around and do your basic back the other way. Keep in mind that the videos that we're doing here live, they will be still available when we're finished. So after class, you can always go back and watch the video again and get any more feedback in, or again, ask us questions and we'll reach out to you.
Good.
Right?
Yes.
All right. Let's do some music.
Let's put some music on.
I'll get it, because I know where it is.
And at the same time, you're dancing and practicing the basic foxtrot and the treble step. We'll also be dancing here in the studio. So you can stop and you can watch what we're doing. If you need a few pointers or if you want to review over what we're doing, and then just dance a little bit and just put these steps together.
Always send your
Shall we do that?
over and always treat you
Walk, walk, side together. Walk, walk, side together. Slow, slow, quick, quick.
every time you done candlelight and wine.
Sing for everybody.
Romance. When you take a dance, whisper things in her ear, 'cause love is correct.
Make sure you're standing up tall.
Yes,
Keep those frames up.
success, but life moves a whole lot more. So, mister, just close that door and write down love is on the door. Your two ways about it. What's the world without it?
Great. Do one more shot.
Stand right out like Charlotte around the roots of
Very good. So one thing to remember is, gentlemen, as you're leading your partner into the basic or the basic and you're leading her into a treble step, how does she feel the difference between being led to do a basic foxtrot and being led to do the treble step? And it will be your body holding your partner in frame. When I want to lead her into a basic, I'm going to keep walking at her. If I keep her in frame and we don't change the frame at all, and we talked about this before, she'll feel my body continue to move and she'll follow. But if I'm going to change that and I need to do a treble step, exactly where I'm at right now to change our direction of travel, she'll feel the first step forward, but the second, she won't feel it come forward. She'll feel a lowering or a stopping of my body, moving back. She's in frame, and then side together. And she'll feel my body move in those positions, and she'll follow because she's in my frame, because I'm holding my posture and I'm holding my frame. So that's really important. It's an example of why posture is so important, because it allows my partner to feel whatever I'm communicating to her in terms of what we're going to be doing throughout the course of the dance.
All right, should we move in to the new pattern?
Yes.
Of the week?
All right, so what we're going to do now, we introduced this last week here in the studio. We're going to be introducing to you a zigzag. Zigzag is just another element within the foxtrot that allows you to move down the floor, changing your body direction in an interesting way, in a zigzag type of pattern that offers just another element to the foxtrot that just adds a little bit more spice, a little bit more fun to the dance. Okay, so, yes. Okay, so the exercise will be that we're going to take 2 steps forward, walk,
backwards as the follower.
For the follower, yes. So again, we'll be stepping step, step, side together. Now, normally, my right foot as the lead would come forward. But in this case, my left foot is going to go back as my partner's opposite foot or mirror image foot comes forward. And side together. And then again, I'll go forward, left, forward, forward, side together, and then back, back, side together. Very important that there's a weight shift as you're transitioning, gentlemen, as the lead from your forward, forward, side together. I have to shift my weight to my right foot so my left leg is free to now go back, back, side together. And when we get into the pattern or the zigzag pattern, you'll understand the significance of shifting your weight. Normally, I would now, if I'm just doing a basic step forward, I would walk, walk, side together. I want to continue forward because I'm doing my basic foxtrot. But in a zigzag, I'm going to shift my weight and change feet. Walk, walk, side together. I shift my weight to my left and I go back, back, side together. Then I shift my weight forward, forward, side together. I shift my weight back, back, side together. So should we demonstrate what that looks like?
Woo! Yep, so what's going to happen? So what we just practiced is really just an exercise to get us ready for the zigzag. It's not the actual zigzag. And I wouldn't dance it as an actual pattern on the floor because it doesn't really get you anywhere. It's just to get you used to the forward and back action. So Lou and I will dance it. If you want to go, let's go this way, Lou.
Okay.
Lou's the leader, of course. So what's going to happen is we're going to put some little turns in the middle of it to change the look of the pattern. Ready when you are, sir.
Here we go. Walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together.
We're back.
So what we did was, or me as the lead, how my partner knew that we were going to do the zigzag is I take my first 2 walking steps walk, walk. I now turn my body, which rotates her. Now we take our side step, and we've changed, in a sense, our facing or our direction of travel. Now we go backwards, walk, walk. I turn my body, my upper body. I keep my pelvis toward my partner, but I'm rotating my upper body, which rotates her upper body. And as we step together, we now have changed our facing or our direction of travel. Do that again.
Do you want me to do just the leaders part so the leaders can
Sure.
see us?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to do the leaders part. Lou will explain it as I dance it, but this way you can see just the leader step from behind, and then we'll do just the follower step from behind. So leaders, this particular pattern, we're going to start it at an angle. Typically, if I was traveling this way down the floor, I can just face that way. But because of the way the zigzag moves, we're actually going to have to be at a bit of an angle or be towards your right. Normally, we would call it diagonal wall, as in, imagine there's a wall here, and I am diagonal towards the wall that is closest to me.
Yes.
Leader steps. I'm ready when you are, Lou.
All right, leader will start with their left foot, take 2 walking steps forward, rotate their body, and then step side together. They are now in a new direction or a new facing of travel. Now leader will take left foot again and go back, right foot back, rotate body to the left, and come side together to change direction of travel. And there we generated this beginning of this zigzag pattern that will take us down the floor.
Do it one more
Let's
time.
do it again, yes. And here we go. And walk, walk, turn, side together, and walk, walk, turn, side together. Remember the rotation, gentlemen, as the lead of your upper body is critical so that your partner feels the rotation of your body and will know that you're going to change your direction of travel. Again, we'll do that so you can see what it looks like. And walk, walk. I rotate just before I step side together. She's in my my frame. We're holding together. So as I rotate my body after I take my 2 forward steps, she feels that rotation. From there, we step side together, and now we're in a new direction of travel or a new facing on the floor. I now go back with my left foot. She comes forward. I go back. I turn my body. She follows, and we create the zigzag, and we're now in a new facing or a new direction of travel. And this zigzag takes us down the floor. It really doesn't matter how many times. You can do the zigzag several times. It just depends on where you are on the floor, your spacing, your floor craft, what's in the way, just a number of different things, or what precedes and what follows the zigzag that you're dancing with your partner on the floor.
Can we go through the follower speed?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to start over here.
So follower will go back with their right foot and go back. Step, step, body will turn, side together, new facing. Then follow will go forward, right foot, forward, forward, body will turn, side together to a new facing. And that completes the following zig. Let's do it one more time. Here we go, and walk, walk, turn, side together, not forward, walk, walk, turn, side together. Again, very important that posture be maintained, your frame be maintained, and your connection to your partner not change during this, or you lose that connection and the ability to communicate as you go through the zigzag. It's much cleaner, it's much smoother, it's a whole lot more fun to do the zigzag when you're in frame and when you're holding good posture.
Should we dance it with you facing them once, maybe, so we can
Yes.
see the ladies part again from behind?
Here we go. And walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together. Let's do it one more time. Remember, guys, as a lead, to turn your body prior to taking that side step so you give your partner, your dance partner, the opportunity to know where you're going and she can follow you. Yes, we go this way. Walk, walk, side together, walk, walk, side together. Good, wonderful.
Should we try it with some music?
Let's do that.
So I would suggest, for the moment, I would just practice the zigzag. So don't worry about mixing in with the other patterns unless you're just feeling brave and you're like, woo, we're doing it, yeah? So you may just, if you have a lot of space, maybe you can do several of the zigzags in a row, right? If you do not have a lot of space, go ahead and just do one and turn around and go back the other way, kind of like we did with the basic.
Yes.
Right? Let's get some music.
Good.
Make sure you're holding those frames up. No sloppy frames. Here we
Let's fall in love. Why shouldn't we fall in love? Our hearts are made of it. Let's take a chance. Why be afraid of it?
Side together. Walk.
Oh, let's
Side
close
together.
our eyes and make our own paradise.
Side
Will we
together.
know this? Still we can try to make it go of it. We might have been meant for each other, to be or not to be, let our hearts discover. Let's fall in love. Why shouldn't we fall in love? Now is the time for it while we are young. Let's fall in love. We might have been meant for each other, to be or not to be, let our hearts discover.
Very good.
Let's fall in love.
So you can see what we did was I incorporated some treble steps at the end of our length of floor, the width of the floor, because we didn't have any more room to dance, or you would have been able to see us. So I incorporated some treble steps just to get us back into right position, and then did zigzags going down the floor again. And then you repeated that going back and forth. Treble or floor craft is something that is a rather easy thing to do, but it takes a while to gain some confidence as the lead when you're navigating down the floor. What do you do? When do you do it? What's the right thing to do? Is there a right and a wrong? Not necessarily. It sort of depends on the dance and what you're doing that precedes and follows the step that you're doing, that precedes and follows the treble step. So it's something that through practice at home, here at the studio, when you're out dancing, that will just help to build your confidence to be a more efficient, a more confident lead on the floor.
And one more thought, because we're in such a unique situation right now. Again, for those of you practicing at home, perhaps without partners, leaders, you can practice very much what Lou was just talking about, just dancing through your patterns and changing from one to the other. As followers, particularly those who are looking to be like social followers who are going to go out and dance with maybe lots of different partners, right? A good way to practice, one of the best things I think we can do as followers to prepare us for that is, number one, always practicing your basic, getting as comfortable with it as you can. And what's more is getting comfortable with the timing of it, that walk, side together, so that no matter where you're going, you're always taking that timing. Even if maybe when you're practicing alone, you're kind of making up some steps. If you get used to keeping that timing, and maybe we'll make a note to talk a little more about timing next week. It's super helpful as a follower. And of course, leader or follower, working on keeping our frames up and keeping our posture. Always. You should do that all the time.
All the time.
We're just walking around your house, twiddling your thumbs because you don't know what else to do. Walk like this. It'll help your dancing, right? All right. I think that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Again, thank you guys so much for sticking with us as we go through this. We will be making adjustments as we go to, again, make it easier for you and make it as beneficial for you as we possibly can. Please keep checking your emails for updates as well as our Facebook page, because who knows what kind of changes we might be coming. We might come up with new classes since we're in this new situation. Speaking of which, all of our classes are going to be live streamed for the time being, as long as we need to. So if you have some extra time on your hands, maybe you should join us for another one. Make sure you go to our website, startdancing.org. Look at the calendar, check out all of the classes that we have offered. We've got a whole slew of fitness classes. Lou teaches several. I've got one. Jonathan's got some. We'd love to have you joining us in at home.
And it definitely will improve your dancing.
Absolutely. And whew, who knows when we'll be able to get out again. All right. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. And we will see you next week. Make sure if you have questions, please send them in. You can email us. You can messenger on Facebook. We are here to help you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ta-da. How's it working? Wow.